Hey everybody, Rebecca here. I just wanted to come on for a moment and tell my story a little bit. Tell part of my story. I have a big story. Here's the thing. I think there is a shortage of authenticity and transparency in the world. So today I want to come to you. You know, preachers, they usually they need their notes. We need to prepare. We need to make sure that we've really made our message clear, and we spend a lot of time putting ourselves together for others. And that's typically what I do. I usually make sure and I've thought through and processed what I have to say to you. But today, I really wanted to lead by example by putting myself out there and just being me. And so I want to tell you a little piece of my story and why I got into what I do, why I do what I do these days. See, now when I was growing up, there was this major shortage of people who would invest in me. I was really, God called me the dark horse, the one who, is unassuming and nobody thinks could win. And then I always come up from behind and I do that thing that God has me to do. But majority of my life, I have been just so self-taught. I mean, the biggest way I've had to grow is by clawing my way forward despite every opposition. And the way I did that was by being a face in the crowd, right? So I would go to conferences. There's thousands of people around. I would go to conferences, or I would listen to the podcasts, or I'd watch the YouTube videos, or I'd see that person on stage. Some of the biggest lessons I learned were as a number in the crowd. Or I've read book after book after book about inner healing, self-help, and you name it, right? But for the majority of my life, I was overlooked by people that had a name for themselves, right? That had that wisdom and experience I've so longed to have. Until most recently, honestly. And I feel like this. God said in the Bible, it says, go and make disciples. The Bible didn't say, go and hand somebody a book. Go and hand somebody a podcast. He didn't say that. This isn't hands off. I really feel like in this time and in this season, personal growth is just like the industry and the factories these days. And even in Walmart, we're trying to make it all robots. We're trying to make it all, fit into something that a machine does for us. And so we don't want to DIY our personal growth, do we? Do we want it to be robotic and mechanical? Kind of like the checkouts at Walmart, right? They're all becoming mechanical. And you know what happens? We make a lot of mistakes. And then we still have to have a person come help us anyways, don't we? So we're in this age of technology. We're replacing human relationship with machine. And we've gone into a place where a lot of our training and equipping and discipleship and learning to walk with God is done as a number in the crowd, who is giving you a canned answer of some scriptural remark for a general audience. And I'm like, this is not good enough. This is not what God called us to do. And so fortunately, I would say in the last few years here, God has given me some of the most amazing mentors and coaches in my life. So yes, I'm a coach. I'm a life coach. I'm a leadership coach. I'm an ordained minister. But I believe I need a coach. So God put this guy in my life that would help to raise me up. Actually, multiple coaches over the last 10 years of my life. And then I even got to the place where I got into a genre. I was stepping into something that I had never done. I had no experience on, no books read, no podcasts listened to, just a whole new world, right? And in steps my now friend. And I can't even tell you the amount. It's like you don't know what you don't know, right? I didn't know all the stuff that I didn't know about the genre I had just stepped into. But God placed a coach and a mentor in my life. And for that, I literally will be forever grateful. Sometimes when I get talking about these things, it even tears me up. Why? Because God designed us for relationships. So one of the core values of Ignite Church that I lead and for Arrow's Edge Coaching is relationship is everything with God and with each other. It matters. We can't suck the relationship out and expect to get the transformational and fast results that we would get if we were working with a person who would pour into us, who would love us right where we're at. That is a game changer, my friends. You are not a number in the crowd. I'm not a number in the crowd. I would not be the person I am today if I would not have had real people. Finally, real people. God put real people in my life that would invest in me, that would sow into me, that would believe in me, that would cheer me on, that would pray for me, that would surround me. That, my friends, is the path to significant and lifelong growth and legacy and impact. So I guess my message today is the reason I do what I do is because we cannot DIY our personal growth. We cannot fast forward our inner healing. We cannot walk past the process by reading a book. Books can help us. Books can grow us. Classes, please take the classes. But there is nothing that can surpass a actual person with wisdom that has been through the thing see, here's the thing. When I go through something painful and hard, I know now that I need to run at that thing and walk the process. A lot of us are like, that hurts too much. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to address it. I've got this big bucket of pain and I'm going to ignore that I have it. I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to deal with it. And I'm just going to walk around with this big bucket of pain. And we try to band-aid it with I'll just, worship it away, or I'll just, and we use all the tools that we have. In the meantime, all we're doing is we're numbing everything that's going on. And I'm telling you, at some point, it has to be dealt with. So what I've learned through my mentors and through encouragement of people who love me is when I see that I've got a gap, when I see that I've got something going on, I face that thing. I run at that thing. And I allow the people in my life that God has placed there to sow into me. And you know what? It's okay to receive. You're worthy. I'm worthy. I'm a child of the Most High God. I'm His girl. He wants to bless me. He wants to fill me. He wants me to walk out my God-given purpose and destiny. He wants that for me. And so I get to allow people to sow into me, and in return, they get blessed. So what do I do now? I sow into other people. I raise them up. I help them to grow. I help them to deal with that bucket of pain that they're not wanting to look at. Nothing can replace human beings. There's this company that I just love what they do. But right now they're trying to take out the human and put in an app. And I'm telling you, that doesn't work because God didn't say, go and give somebody an app. He means for us to have relationship, to be hands-on, to work together, iron sharpening iron, to face those things of life, because all of those things will grow us and mature us. There is opportunity in every failure. In fact, one of the values of this business here is failure is a must. I mean, think about it. We cannot, okay, let me back up. I want to create a culture of progress. We we cannot have this level of expectation on ourselves to always be perfect and always have it on and always right? But failure is a must in the kingdom, because failure is, anyone who is really successful has had failure to learn from, to grow from. It's not failing that's the problem, it's your perspective on it. And you never want to get into shame because of failure. In fact, another core value of Erisage is we don't do shame here, right? We embrace our failure. We choose to fail forward, and we choose to say, wow, this pressure is going to bring me progress. So I digress. What I really wanted to say to you out there is you are worth your own personal growth. And yes, it costs you something. Every extreme victory will cost you something. And so my question is, do we want to walk around with a bucket of pain, ignoring it until it blows up in our face? Or do we want to actually walk forward in life, be intentional about our personal growth, and allow ourselves to invest? So many of us will invest in a cooking class, but we won't invest in our own mind, will, and emotions. Do we not understand how important and how crucial that is? So listen, here's my story. I was that person that people would not invest in. I was the overlooked person. Sometimes I still feel like that today. But I was given an opportunity to have a mentor. And you know what? It costs me. In fact, that particular thing cost me $15,000. It did. But it was a God-given choice. And it was blessed by God and graced by God that has produced outcome after outcome after outcome after outcome after outcome that reading 10 books could never have done. Why? Because I have a person in my life who will look at my situation, who will look at what I'm working on, and will customize a solution based on what I'm facing. No canned answers, no robots, no DIY my life. You don't want to DIY your life. You have one life to live. This is too important to just let it go by the wayside of letting life happen to you, or trying to fix it as a number in a crowd. Who out there really wants to be a number in a crowd? I know that I got to a place where I just cried out to God. I said, God, I don't want to be a face in the crowd anymore. And then I can stand here today in utter gratitude that I have had somebody who has now become my friend. And I have coaches and mentors that surround me to build me up, to raise me up, to get me free, to living at the top of my potential, at the crux of my purpose. And you know what that does? It replicates and multiplies, and it leaves a legacy, because today, because those people have poured into me, I get to walk forward and set others free. I have authority in the Spirit because of my own walk with God, that I can now set others free, lead them into their legacy and into their destiny, and step fully into their identity. It multiplies. The fruit is enormous. So listen, this wasn't prepared today. It is a longing of my heart that I just wanted to share with you. Because so many of you are, by choice of your will, remaining in a place of trying to DIY your life, when there is so much more out there for you. God designed us to do this thing together. There is no replacement for this relationship. And listen, yes, it costs you. You have to invest. You'll go to a school to build a business, but you won't go to a school to build yourself. And you know what happens? If I'm somebody who's in that mode, I've now built a business that I can't sustain because I haven't dealt with the things in my heart. What would it look like if we all were willing to prioritize the value of our own lives and the value of relationship and the value of even walking through failure strong, knowing that shame has no place in our lives. What could our lives really look like? I'll tell you what, my life looks like a transformed life. Overwhelmed to overjoyed. My life looks different now. Not because of a million podcasts. I've been there, tried that. But because I had real people living and breathing, sowing into me through relationship, through love, through care. That right there is the hand of Jesus through them into my life that caused permanent transformation and health inside of me. So I just want to share my heart today. No real purpose. But here's the thing, guys. This is my why. This is just part of my why. My why is because God has given me gifts and anointings and call that I have had to fight for, that I had to grow through. I was overlooked, people were underwhelmed with me, and I looked like a nobody, and I didn't have what I needed. I have been through so many hard times, some very traumatic times. And I'm telling you that while podcasts and books and videos and courses help amazingly, there is nothing that has replaced sowing into myself, putting forth a sacrifice, and allowing a human to customizingly pour into me. That is what caused transformation. That is what I do, is I love people into life. I see their full potential and who they are called to be, and I draw it forward. I get to do what others have done for me. And I am so blessed that I didn't even hesitate to spend and sacrifice to be able to be raised up in that way. So here I am. I had to take the classes to be an ordained minister. I had to take the classes to be a life coach. I had to take the classes to be a leadership coach. And all of them put together equipped me and raised me up. But the greatest impact on my life was encounters with Jesus and encounters with people in relationship. That's what that supersedes them all. Are they all valuable? Please hear me. Balancing statement. Very important to take classes. Very important to work out processes. But don't forsake the relationship of allowing somebody to truly invest in you. It blesses them because their investment will produce net worth. And it's valuable to you because it's going to produce and produce and produce and fall straight into your purpose, your legacy, your destiny. What would it look like if you could fully step into everything you are called to be and be completely certain about who you are? So listen, I don't know, may have been all over the place. Verbal processor here. But I just want to tell you my why. My why is because I don't want to see others have to be raised up the way I had to be raised up. I want to pour into others in a way that causes absolute life transformation. So think about that today. Think about, how do you want to DIY your life? That's my question. Do me a favor, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking and what God's been showing you on this subject. It would bless me to hear your hearts. Again, relationship is everything with God and with each other. So let's engage by beginning to comment and reach out to me if you are ready to have a transformed life right now in this season and this moment. Everybody should have a mountaintop destination. They should be able to look and see all the things that God has for them. And you are not exempt from this. So if you're ready to be led up to the top of the mountain to see all that God has for you, give me a message and we'll chat. I'm ready to go into authentic relationship, not robotic training. You are no longer a face in the crowd. So I bless you guys. I hope you're having an amazing week. And I bless you with the resources for everything that you're called to do. I just pray that God would just fill you to overflowing and that God would show you the process to which He wants you to walk out your unique life. So go ahead. Comment below. DM me. I'd be blessed to talk to you. We'll talk to you later.